Let's talk about USC, Arizona State. In my prediction video, I said USC 52, ASU 13. Final score, USC 42, Arizona State 28. I would consider this a disappointing game. And I didn't mention my previous video, but I said that I wanted to say that if SC had put up under 40 and ASU puts up over 20 then that would be disappointing. But at the same time, it's better to be disappointed with a win than disappointed with a loss. So take the win, move on. I think what went wrong in this game was at the beginning when Marshawn Lloyd fumbled that handoff from Caleb Williams. Gave ASU great field position. They scored, and it kind of gave them an energy to keep them in the game. Now, with this Arizona State team, I think, a lot of people looked at how they performed in their first 3 games. They looked at their roster, their injury situation. Things just were not looking good for them. And so it was easy to kind of make that conclusion that, hey, this team ASU team isn't going to play well, and SC should do better than they did. But, it's college football, and the beauty and the nature of this game is that you can't predict everything. And I think that's why people watch these prediction videos that I make. It's not a lot, but for whoever comes to see it, whether you like USC or not, or neutral, people like to see prediction videos because of the fact that college football is oftentimes so unpredictable. So this was tonight was one of those examples of that unpredictability. Now, SC they had their moments in this game where they did look good. Caleb Williams had some great plays to Brendan Rice. Marshawn Lloyd had some great runs despite the fumbled handoff from Caleb Williams at the beginning of the game. Defensively, the defensive line was able to get sacks on Drew Pine, their quarterback. They converted a few turnovers, but at the same time, they still gave up a lot of big plays to ASU, and it's a little, felt a little disappointing there. But I think the other thing that was just kind of interesting was the fact that ASU playing in front of a sellout crowd, their first 3 games prior, they didn't play well, and there wasn't a lot of fan energy at those games. It seems to be when a team like ASU plays USC, or I don't know, maybe their rival Arizona, that they will give their best effort in a game like this, and certainly I think they did. But despite that best effort, something tells me they're not going to play with that same energy next week or the week after, or against most of the teams that they play, going forward. But either way, I know the whole situation doesn't make USC look as good as they should. Again, people, including myself, thought they would have either put up more points or hold ASU to a lower number of points, and even, end this game by sometime in the midway through the third quarter, which just did not happen. But again, that's just the nature of college football right there. And so, USC has a lot of work to do, and they were ranked 5. They'll probably drop a few spots in the polls based on the performance tonight, and I can totally understand Ohio State moving into the top 5 after beating Notre Dame the way that they did. So yeah, maybe someone could come onto this video or my prediction video and say USC is overrated, and yeah, that's true. Maybe they should be a little bit lower in the polls. And when I made my prediction videos and just talking about the preseason, there were 2 things I mentioned. One of them was, you can never, or you should never underestimate your opponents. It's better to overestimate them, because at least if you get proven wrong, well, you're proven wrong in a way that benefits you and your team. Whereas if you underestimate somebody, then it just doesn't look as good. And And I was mentioning that even going back to my earlier predictions, in videos against teams like San Jose State, where, yeah, I mean, even maybe you'll get the win, of course, but you never know if some of these teams can, you know, uh, put up a scare, something like that. And this was one of those games. And so, when I think about, you know, prediction videos going forward, I mean, yeah, I will have to take into account what I saw here. And even just by my general nature for predictions is kind of, there's usually kind of a healthy degree of skepticism towards, as much as I like USC, there's always some skepticism in terms of areas where they might let down. It's just what it is. Um, the other thing was talking about, you know, rankings, and yeah, maybe USC is overrated. Maybe they should drop some spots. And again, it's fine with me because whether they drop a few spots or even if they were just to be unranked, even at 4-0, whatever, if they were unranked, um, I'd be okay with that because we're just entering week 5, and I know that if USC continues to win their games, the rankings will sort themselves out by the end of the season. So it doesn't really matter to me right now where they're ranked, and if they're ranked low or unranked, it just motivates the team even more to do better. When you're ranked high, you have that target on your back, and simultaneously, there could be a tendency for teams to sleep at the wheel because they just assume that they're just going to be better. That's not always the case. So anyway, there's a lot more I could talk about this game, but I think we should stop here. I am getting a little bit tired, and I'll make a Colorado prediction video a little bit later. But until then, everybody, fight on.